Arsenal beat Bolton in a comfortable win at the Emirates to settle their place in the next round of the Carabao Cup. Now, while Hell End was on full show with many youngsters coming in and having really decent games, everyone is talking about Ethan Nwaneri, probably the most exciting player coming through the academy, scoring a brace on his full debut. In this video, we're going to go through his overall game and why he is definitely ready to play a big part within the main squad in the near future. So let's get into it. This was definitely one of them really nice days for Arsenal where we got to see a bunch of new players play in different roles and have a comfortable victory getting through to the next round, which we haven't been able to have in the last few years. We got to see Porter, the 16-year-old, in goal with, of course, Miles Lewis-Skelly and Nwaneri starting within the team. We also got to see cool players like Maldini Correa come on and Ismail Kabir on in the wing. And it felt like a really good day for Hell End to really come through and show themselves, and a nice day for the academy to be trusted in large parts. Now, I do want to do a massive video on Miles Lewis-Skelly in his own right, because I genuinely think in this game he was incredible as well, and I've been impressed by him when he did that cameo against Man City as well. But this day mostly resides to Nwaneri, a brace on your debut, and I think quite a fabulous performance when he got the ball within the game. Now, something I see a lot with the main Arsenal youngsters coming through is their ability on the ball is so good. They're so good at shielding and making sure that they can keep the ball in any given circumstance, despite not necessarily being the tallest of players at always. Something I really liked by Nwaneri at the start of this game was he was just feeding it a little bit, and he didn't get the ball too much early on. He would come down deep right side so Saka wouldn't have to keep having to do all the progression there, and he would come inside, and you could tell he loves that pass over to Miles Lewis-Skelly or Sterling on the wing. He loves crossing the ball over and getting through that middle, which I actually think is something that has been missing from Arsenal's game recently. This sort of wanting to pass it always to the left side actually gives you a lot of confidence here. He is able to get the ball out when he's passed in that half space and able to actually get Arsenal on the break, which was a lot of a big reason why we build up from the left side. He was getting the ball out from the right and switching it more than often. But he's not only just good at switching, he is really good at interchange on this right hand side. He can do little 1-2s with Saka. I really liked their positioning together. He would just come inside or go into the hole like Odegaard would and keep the ball very confidently. I see Nwaneri as someone that will keep the ball more often than not, and he sort of has that level of Odegaard where Odegaard never really loses it when the ball's at his feet. And something I like about him as well is he's very mature in these situations. He knows that sometimes he can't get the ball through to Saka maybe like he would want to, so he doesn't force it. He just recycles play and keeps going, finds new ways to try and unlock the defense. And here we can see 20 seconds later he comes into an inside role, does a very quick 1-2 with Nicholas, does not mind being the facilitator for someone else. Obviously Nicholas does the cross in and everyone misses it, and Rice scores a really good finish. And I think this is when he started to get really confident within the game. After this, I really got to see a great version of Nwaneri. His driving with the ball from deep was brilliant. He seems like he is a very physical runner, and when he can't necessarily get the positions or the passes right with Saka, like I said, he'd always put it out to the left side to just recycle play and make things easier. I also think it obviously helps him on the side having Saka, who is excellent. He's so good with the ball, so good at doing them through balls through. But often some of the times that Nwaneri was making them runs, I genuinely felt a lot more comfortable than when Jesus made them. Jesus was getting into physical battles like usual and trying to hold the ball up, but Nwaneri was running off these two players down that side and trying to keep up with them and trying to create passes. Now, sometimes this didn't go off, but I really like the intention that we have around these moves. Nwaneri is trying to work with them with the interchange. And something I really liked by that right hand side later on is how smart some of these players were being. They were doing really good one-touch football, which obviously Nwaneri was involved in, and there's many times that Saka would pass it off to him deeper and he would just keep the ball and then through ball it to Saka to get him into space. Very much so much like Odegaard does for us all the time, and he already seems to get a great relationship with Saka and seems so unselfish to actually know that Saka is the player that needs the ball in some situations. I mean, here I wanted him to shoot for his hat-trick and he ends up passing it off to Saka, who gets a good shot away, and unluckily it doesn't go in. But the ability to go down on the wide stretches where the byline is and just cut inside, keep the ball and then spread it out to the midfielders that have come in or defenders that have come in into the middle is really important, because it gives Arsenal a lot more quickness in their possession going forward. I actually was impressed in this game because we were going from the right side to the left side in very quick fashion, giving Sterling, giving Saka one-on-ones against defenders because they just simply couldn't across that quickly. Now, of course, it's only Bolton, but I do think that's a very important thing that can make Arsenal more effective in attack. And having someone like Nwaneri there, who is a very attack-minded player, loves running with the ball. He's quite physical, loves the challenge as well, can really get himself in there, but is a forward-thinking through ball player. He can make some really good incisive passes, and he clearly is not necessarily a bias to the left side. He likes passing on the right side as well, but he definitely loves coming inside and passing it off, and we don't really see Odegaard do that enough. He loves his right side with Saka and loves working in them sort of angles. Nwaneri seems like he does not mind, and he will happily keep the ball and make them go down the left side and get into the box in other situations. And this is where I do think there is differences between him and Odegaard. Odegaard is someone that you probably want on the edge of the box just in case the ball bounces out to maybe have a shot, and I do think Nwaneri does need to work on his shooting a little bit because his ball striking isn't going to be there, but that's fine at his age. So what you want to do with players like that is get them in the box, and that is something that he did really effectively in this game, working off other players around him. Now I'll probably go over Arsenal's second goal in this game a lot more probably in another video, maybe talking about Miles Lewis-Skelly, because it was really good, but I do think that yet again this is exactly what you want from him. He's in space on that right side. We do brilliant to get the ball down to Sterling, and the amount of pace that he shows just to run in there, that's another thing. He seems a very quick player. It's just very encouraging. He gets in there, wants to get the goal. Jesus misses the ball and he's there for the tap-in, but that is all about that movement and that pick-outs that we can do on our different wings. Also, that was a left-sided move, and you can't say that our left side's been creating that many good chances from that side in the last few years. We've been getting better recently, and that is definitely encouraging to see. And Nwaneri does brilliantly to get in there, and he's not going to miss that for his first goal for the club on his home debut. You can't write it. And in the second half, it did get better from the goal perspective. We do really well to press them. Rice does really well to anticipate the interception, and Nwaneri's right there waiting for the ball. He takes control, he does not mind, and he runs into the box and shoots, and it goes in. I'm not going to say it's the best finish in the world, the keeper should save it, but the confidence of Nwaneri to take that on himself and not pass it to Rice or Saka, who's clearly in space on the right, shows a lot. And I just think it was a brilliant scene to see him score 2 goals where he was completely dominant on the ball, I felt like. And I felt like it was a game where he was becoming more of a facilitator than a goal scorer. I think he was trying to help our team a lot more than actually score himself, and yet again he still got 2 goals, so you can't really complain about it from that level. And the stats show how encouraging he was on the ball. He made 26 out of his 28 passes. He had an expected goals of 0.8 in the game. You know, he did score from 2 simple areas, you could say, so that's probably why it's so high, but that's still really good. He made 1 accurate long ball, 1 pass into the final third. He only did 1 out of his 4 dribbles, where I think in this game he was getting 3 or 4 manned up in the middle. Bolton played a numerous ways of systems, and I'd like to see him in a little bit more space maybe next time, so that is definitely something to look at. But having 4 dribbles alone is actually quite a lot to have, especially for his midfield position. He got himself involved in loads of duels. He did recoveries, he did defensive actions, and he really put his body about, and I think Nwaneri was really deserving of the praise he got before the game and after the game. But even the fans in the stadium, there was clearly a lot of people there, I think, to see Nwaneri finally start for Arsenal more than anyone else, and in a sense he delivered. He scored the 2 goals that they wanted to see, and I do think he has firmly put himself in a place where he could play for Arsenal in the next few games in a much bigger role than he has in Leicester against Southampton. And it was so good to see as well that Saka sort of gave Nwaneri his moment, was always trying to look for him, and also when he celebrated when he scored, he said that is Nwaneri's moment. Finally we can see him play for Arsenal. We all know how good he's been in pre-season and all the hype around him, and I think he's proven once again he should definitely be within this team. Same with Lewis-Skelly, who we will talk about another time. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you guys think about this video, and let me know what you think about Ethan Nwaneri. More importantly, are you excited? Do you think he should play considerable minutes even this weekend or next weekend, and what would you like to see him do within the squad? Let me know who else you thought was really good in the game. Maybe I'll talk about him as well. If not, I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.